The internet grew at 63% a year in terms of number of users from 1990 to 2000. In 1997, there were 150 million users of the internet. And as I said, it was growing at 63% a year, the fastest growth of any technology the world had ever seen. We all know that. We all talk about the internet. So here we are today in cryptocurrencies. They've also been around about 10 years. Currently, there's 150 million users, but the network is growing at 113% a year. So it's twice the speed of growth of the fastest technology the world has ever seen. We've never seen anything like this. And what this is the network of money. And it's exploding in size. It's a $2 trillion asset class currently as of today. If we look at the other major asset classes around the world, equities, bonds, real estate, they're kind of range between 150 and 350 trillion US dollars. So this digital asset, if we just follow that adoption curve that we're looking at, they will get to a $200 trillion asset class, which is, we'll have never seen this happen by 2030. We'll have never seen an asset class that didn't exist come out of nowhere and be worth $200 trillion. So to think of it, what does it mean? Why should anybody care watching this? This is an entire asset class that's going up 100-fold by the end of this decade. It's like one of the easiest ways to make money and prosper is to have a wave behind you, the wind in your sails. This is the biggest wind in your sails you'll ever have. And so many people are being cynical fighting it. And if you just turn and don't face the wind, put it in your back, you can sprint. And that's the opportunity here.
Raoul, we're going to stop breathing in a minute after what you just said. That's just crazy stuff. I mean, if it goes to that sort of numbers, we're talking Bitcoin will be worth millions of dollars a Bitcoin.
Yeah. So if you think about it, think of a comparison and think how stupid it sounds. If I said to you, oh, Sydney Harbour real estate's going to go up 100x. And I could pretty much show you how and why, and it was going to happen by 2030. You just do everything you could to buy as much property as you possibly could, or build it, or start real estate agents, anything. When people tell you about cryptocurrency, people are like, well, I'm not sure about that. The government's going to ban it, or, whatever it is, because people fear change.
I saw recently the numbers of people who have invested in cryptocurrency, and it was like something like 74% was millennials and about 4% was baby boomers and whatever. Look, in the short time I've got to know you, you're a thinker. You think through every question as I speak to you. You think very clearly what you're going to say. What would you say to, I'm going to say to the baby boomers, what would you say to the baby boomers? Because my audience is very strong in baby boomers and they're only 4% in. What would you say to them about this?
So the baby boomers have a very unique problem. Because of the advancement in science, healthcare, and all of these things, nobody knows how long they're going to live for. And the probability is they're going to live longer than they think. And that means, do you have enough savings to retire on? Right? That's the only question for baby boomers. So, okay, if you want to insure against the risk of your longevity, which is obviously the thing you want to celebrate, then if you were to allocate 5% of your portfolio to cryptocurrency, just 5%. So let's say Raoul is an idiot and it all falls 50%. You lose 2.5% of your net worth. You don't even notice it. If I'm right, and it goes up 20x from here, 50x from here, you've doubled your net worth. So that allows you to live another 20 years. This is why it matters to baby boomers. It is the greatest policy against not having enough retirement savings because you're going to live longer.
Mm. But as you said earlier in the show, Raoul, it is going to rise and it is going to drop again. And it is going to rise and it is going to drop again. So maybe there needs to be a psychological approach that you've got to be aware of this. It's a little bit crazy town, but it's a new norm.
So when you talk about rise and fall, people are going to think we're talking about oil prices that do this. No. What we're talking about is a rise and fall in an exponential trend. So even though it's fallen 70%, that was on the back of a 10,000% move. And then it goes up another 5,000% and falls another 70%. What you're doing is going up in this big volatile trend. But the biggest trend of all is that the price rises are exponential. So what it means is you need to have a longer term time horizon. You don't get in this to think I want to get rich in a year, because if you get the wrong part of the cycle and it goes down, you're going to have taken too much risk and you're going to feel terrible. If you say, you know what, if it falls, I'll add a bit more if it falls down, because we know where the trend is going. We know that all of this adoption is happening and we know it's volatile. So we should use the falls in price to our advantage. And once you get that mindset on, the buy the dip mentality, you'll succeed.
Okay. You've been swimming around in this currency for quite some time. So you're a bit of an expert now. I've just made you one. Listen, if I was to say, give us your top 5 or 6 worthwhile watching, obviously you're going to say Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. That's nice. But what's your thoughts? What gem can you give all these people watching?
Yeah, so the gem of how to understand this space is easy. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to look at adoption. So this space is all priced in something called Metcalfe's law. Metcalfe's law really came about from computing, but mobile phones was the easiest example. 1 mobile phone, worthless. 2, reasonably good if it's somebody you want to speak to, not very useful if you don't want to speak to them. If everybody has a mobile, you can now reach everybody on Earth. Okay, then those same mobiles, you could put data on and have the internet on, and that changed everything. Then the computer world came along and interacted with this world, and now we've got these 2 networks, and it's made mobile computing turn into this, a supercomputer on your phone. And what this is the network of money, and they all follow the same thing. Metcalfe's law is the number of nodes on the network, i.e. the number of users, and the amount of connectivity between the users creates the value of the network. So what you do is look at these cryptocurrencies and say, right, how many people are using it? A lot of people, is that network growing? And are people building stuff on it? If you can answer those questions with yes, then you've got a good investment. And the ones that I see that in right now are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Terra, and probably Polkadot or Avalanche. And those are the ones that are larger market cap. We're seeing real use cases, lots of people adopting it, and lots of people developing applications on it. So those are the bets, but really you only need to take one bet. Just take Ethereum. It's like Ethereum is like the internet of it's like the internet of money. It's like the software platform that everything is being built on. And it may not go up the most, but it's going to go up a hell of a lot because it's got massive network effects. It's easy to understand, it's easy to trade, it's easy to buy, it's liquid, and you don't have to learn too many new things.
Give us your big picture. Your big picture, 40,000 feet, looking down on the crypto world. What's your big picture to tell everybody going forward?
So as I've explained, it's the fastest growing adoption of any technology in all recorded history. We're going to go from 150 million users to 1 billion users in 3.5 years. It is going from 2 trillion to 200 trillion as an asset class, probably in 10 years. So this is the largest tailwind for any investment we've ever been given. Not only that, but it's creating an entirely new business model for the world. Everything is going to get tokenized, from real estate to stock markets to bond markets to currency markets are all going to be tokenized. On top of that, people are using this to build business models, something called Web 3.0, which is where you give a community a system of money and say, well, look, you could all work together and build your own network. There's decentralized finance. There's non-fungible tokens, which allow you to have digital art and real things of value. Somebody's just got some Aussie wine that they've auctioned as an NFT, so you get the rights to wine every year from this NFT. It's like, okay, this is interesting. So basically, everything you buy, sell, own, store, transfer is going to be digitized. And this is that world. So if you can find me anything bigger, I don't know anybody who could. This is the very system of money and value itself. And it's about to be disrupted by technology, considering that the old system of money has basically been around for a few thousand years, and we're about to change it all. That's how big this is.